cumulative grade of these teams, right, from the day the Super Bowl ended, the entire offseason, through preseason, up until right now, where it's, hey, we got 5 practices left, gear up, let's go. I like doing this in everything, right? Trades, things in the market, right? Life, right? Anything, business, sports, whatever, right? It's something I enjoy looking at. Who's going to win? Who's going to lose this trade? Who's this good for? Who is this going to be a detriment to? And I'm looking at some preseason winners and losers, right? Winners are fairly easy to spot, right? Like Pittsburgh, for example. Kenny Pickett, you drafted him 20th or 21st overall, whatever.
Yeah.
Looks pretty good, right? It looks at this point, you don't feel that there might be a whiff, right? You're sitting there, you're thinking, okay, so far so good, right? Mm-hmm. And even if you want to start Mitch, he looks completely serviceable. Hell, even Mason Rudolph looked good, but we know he's not going to be a starter. But your quarterbacks at least look stable, right? They didn't whiff on Pickett. Mitch will definitely be a C+. He'll win you some games. George Pickens looks really good. Najee got healthy. If it's possible, I think T.J. Watt is even better than he was. Now, outside of the O-line, everything else has been looking solid, right? So they're probably a winner. Or you look at the Eagles, right? We'll talk about them in hits and misses. They're probably a winner, right? They went out and got C.J. Gardner-Johnson. They've bolstered their defense. They got A.J. Brown. They're probably winners, right? But what I'm more fascinated in is the losers, right? And you can argue the Bucs. They've been killed with injuries. Brady's been in and out. Maybe even the Packers, right? They have minimal talent on the outside except for a couple of rookies. Jordan Love pretty much looks like a bust. But for me, one loser stands out. And you've probably already guessed it. It's everybody's favorite team, the Dallas Cowboys.
America's team.
America's team. Since the day the Super Bowl ended till right now, there's an argument that no team has gotten worse than the Cowboys. They've now lost both their starting tackles, one of them to Cincinnati, La'el Collins, and one of them to injury for almost the entire year, Tyron Smith. They've now lost 2 of their top 3 passing targets, Amari Cooper and Cedric Wilson. They've lost their second best pass rusher in Randy Gregory, and they missed out on Von Miller, who said he wanted to go to Dallas, but the number wasn't right. Okay, so you pay a running back, won't pay an edge rusher. Oh, no, I got it. No, it's all adding up. That's cool. They have an owner who, whenever the offensive line was really, really good, and the running back, Zeke, was really, really good, a couple years back, when Dak was a little bit younger, nah, screw that. We're going to have our team run through Dak. Okay, yeah. And now that the O-line stinks and the back is aging, nah, let's run. We're going to run right through the aging back. That's how our offense is going to run. Okay. Oh, by the way, they have a coach who's probably on par with like a Trent Dilfer, who, by the way, is a high school coach. And for me right now, if I had to pick, I'd probably pick Dilfer over McCarthy as a better football coach. But they didn't fire him for Lord knows what reason. You have 2 really good assistants that you could have just promoted. You didn't even have to leave the building to find your next one. Nah, let's just keep McCarthy. He'll be fine. Okay. Well, here's some interesting stats. Tyron Smith's going to be out for a while, right? So Dak in his career, when being sacked 4+ times in a game, it's kind of ironic. He's got a full 16-game season. Obviously now it's 17 games, but used to be 16. Kind of sticks in our head, right? He's 7-9. Is that not exactly what the Cowboys are hovering around every year? Right about 500, maybe a little bit less. It's exactly, when I think of Dak Prescott, I think he's about an average quarterback. About 7-9. Oh, but by the way, 6 of the 7 wins are coming within the NFC East. A lot of Giants who are bad and Washington who's always been a mess. I mean, they've been a mess since what? John Riggins, I believe, was the running back in like the 70s. Bad since he retired. And of course the Eagles, who have probably been the best team in that division over the last 10 years, right? But they've still had their ups and downs, especially defensively. And of the 9 losses, 7 of them come out of division against a winning team. Translation, when he plays good teams, while he has minimal support, he melts down. In the games that I'm referencing, when he is sacked 4+ times, he has a pass rating of 87, as opposed to a career pass rating of a 99. Oh, and by the way, he doesn't have a safety valve anymore, right? Amari Cooper's gone. But, CeeDee Lamb will be fine. He's a great number 1. Yeah, okay, yeah, for sure. Yeah, he'll be fine without Amari. Well, that'd be wrong, too. He's almost 300 yards per game. You can see him right here. I'll put him right up on the screen, right? About 300 yards per game with Amari. About 220 without him. He's 2 touchdowns a game with Amari Cooper. About 1.3 without him. His completion percentage goes from a 68 all the way down to a 65. Oh, and by the way, his pass rating with Amari Cooper is 103. And without him, it's a 93. Pretty strong hunch. That's your biggest loser right there. And if we're going on a player by player basis, I'm pretty sure Dak Prescott is the biggest loser of this preseason, and I'm not going to lie, I don't think any of it's his fault. Right? If there's anybody on this team that I'm willing to pay the money to, it's Dak. Right? And I've said this before. I worry about paying good people great money. Right? I worry about paying Dak. I think he's a good quarterback, but he's not great, and he's making great money. But if I had to overpay at a position, it'd be quarterback. But they pay like a guard and a running back. And for a while, they paid a linebacker until they cut bait with him last year. Right? So because of all that, you can't afford to keep Randy Gregory. You can't afford to keep, maybe a corner that you let back a couple years ago, right? You can't afford to keep Amari Cooper. This is the bed that they've made. It's time for them to lay in it. I mean, I think this, as a team, the Cowboys are the biggest loser of the preseason. I mean, the numbers, we flashed them on the screen. They were right there. Those are the numbers. I mean, you be the judge. Without Amari Cooper and sacked 4+ times, he's 7-9. He's a 7-9 quarterback when he gets sacked. He now has 3 new offensive linemen. By the way, none of them have reps at the NFL level. That's good. Love that. And Amari Cooper's gone, and he is about 10 ticks less on his pass rating when he's gone. So hey, you tell me. You be the judge. You be the judge. That's your biggest loser of the preseason right there. The Dallas Cowboys. How about them boys, huh? Yeah. How about them boys?
We talk about sports in general and NFL a lot while we're off the podcast, and we were hanging out watching the Steelers game, their last preseason game this past Sunday, and we were talking a little bit about Dak and the Cowboys and just kind of kicking some stuff around. We kind of came to the agreement that Dak and Kirk Cousins are very similar quarterbacks. It's very serviceable. They'll get you some wins. They'll get the job done.
Yeah.
But they're not going to really go out and make a splash in the playoffs. They're not going to push for a Super Bowl and win. They're not going to take a game where it's one of those 50-50 games, maybe on the road, late season against a really tough opponent. 9 times out of 10, Dak and Kirk Cousins are not the type of quarterbacks that are going to be coming out of those type of games as the winner.
I couldn't agree more. I mean, you take Justin Jefferson, Stephon Diggs, and Adam Thielen out of Kirk Cousins' career.
Yeah.
What is he? He's probably about a 90 pass rating guy. Instead, he's closer to 100.
Probably about a Baker Mayfield kind of guy without them.
Yeah, serviceable. But look, now Baker's down on the Panthers, who's a really bad roster. So, I mean,
it'll be interesting.
You be the judge.